Now those who say that we die like a dog died. Two of those, 11 that went to their death the week before last, were atheists. They said there's no life beyond the grave. They've changed their opinion the last 10 days. And a certain man went up and down the land another generation before and said there's no hell. For now, some 40, 50 years, he changed his opinion. If there's no heaven, if there's no hell, there's no heaven. What's beyond this life? Now, I'm not going to take time except to declare it. The Bible very clearly teaches that we have a conscious existence after this life. I'll close every Bible in the world. And I could eliminate every church in the world. And wipe out from memory every sermon that you ever heard. And still you would believe there's something beyond this life. Why have eyes to see the light? Why have ears to hear music? Why have a soul to feel after God? Because there is a God. Why is there longing in the soul of man for the life beyond? Because there is a life beyond. In Job 19 and 25, after he'd lost all of his vast fortune, 11,600 livestock, head of livestock, 7 sons and 3 daughters, his reputation, all of his friends, and even his wife, confident. In the deepest depths of his sorrow, he cried out the most triumphant voice and word that was ever uttered in the whole Old Testament. I know that my Redeemer liveth. I've lost all my possessions. I've lost all my friends. The word will soon destroy my body. I know that my Redeemer liveth. And out with this flesh in another body is what it means. I shall see him, and I shall behold him, and not another. So therefore, my friends, whatever age, whatever race, you will find that written in the soul and blood of all men. Now, my particular theme I want to emphasize is the separation at death. Every man loves his family. I baptized a dear man a while ago who 4 years ago, his dear wife, the mother of his children, was killed by a hit-and-run driver. Not his fault, but his sorrow. Certainly no fault of his wife. A lovely mother and wife. 3, 4 nights ago, Sunday nights, I baptized a beautiful daughter. Tonight, as I held that father, I said, now, you know that you have made that good confession, and your name is written in the book of life, and you'll see her again. As I preached to you a few Sunday nights ago, I'm certain of this. We'll know our loved ones. There won't be something else. We'll know that mother, Mother Williams, and that wife. She won't be sick. She won't be pale. She won't be worn. She won't be old. But she'll be beautiful. It's out of sickness into health. It's out of sorrow into joy. It's out of death into life. Out of this world of sorrow into the heaven of everlasting peace. So therefore, the apostle says in 2 Corinthians 5 and 1, for we know that is the search the house of this tabernacle which is ours. That's what death is, dissolution of soul and body. What's the result? We have a building of God, a building of heaven, a building that's eternal. This little tent, a house in which we live, is earthly. That's of heaven. This in which we live is human. That's divine. This little building in which we live is of time. That's eternal. That's why David closed that immortal 23rd Psalm and says, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Not for a generation. Whatever joys have come to us will soon end. You have a family reunion, but soon ends. Two young people stand at the marriage altar, happy in each other's love. Babies are born, children grow. Soon the two are old people, soon they're gone, and the place knows them no more. Have family reunions, Christmas time, birthday time. You said, is that all of life? No. Thanks be unto God for a circle that cannot be broken. Thanks be unto God for a home that'll never pass away. I go back to the old home where I grew up as a lad. It's gone. All that's left there is a pile of bricks where the old chimney was, the fireplace where the little family would gather around. Only one cedar tree left. There the stump for the others were. And my soul is depressed when I walk around. But then I lift up my eyes and say, thanks be unto God. There's a home where we'll be united, where every name is written in the Lamb's Book of Life. Now that's separation. One of the men wants to die, and after this the judgment. Now, when a man comes to that hour of death, he's dreaded. Now let me help you on this. There should be no dread, no fear, no anxiety to the man that's saved. Not that he wants to die. Paul said, I'm in a great strait betwixt two. I have a desire to depart, yet it's needful that I should remain. I'm thinking about organizing a Scripture Club here in Fort Worth. You know, they organize them all over the world, where people are making up their minds to live to 100 years old. And Brooks would like for you to be a charter member with us. And so we're going to select 3 or 4 people and get a charter. They're getting them all around the world, organize them in England, organize them all over the country, and have a Century Club. And I read a very able discussion on it, and I knew it before I read it, that a man's mental attitude has a whole lot to do with how long he lives. I believe in God's side, and I believe in our side. And God's side takes care of itself, and we should take care of our side. There's no conflict. Now, therefore, quit going around thinking I just feel like I'm going to die soon. Well, go on and die. And get your wife be free so you can get a man that won't always complain. Lord have mercy on a woman that's got a husband. Always complaining and griping and feeling aching and pain. Poor woman, she's entitled to heaven, and she certainly, if she didn't have anything else but that fellow to annoy. He said, well, in the case of verse in my house, I got a woman that's always complaining. Brother, ain't no hope for you. You just gone. That's all. I can't offer you any hope in the world. I won't try. I've had men come to me and advise me about their wives. Soon started, no, man, I wouldn't tell you a thing. But you get mad, go home and tell your wife about it, and then I'm into her. One came the other day, he says, my first husband and I separated, and I married again. And so the court gave him the 2 children, 3 I believe, and she said he took them and took them out of the city, and he won't let me see them. And said, I'm going out there, and I'm going to have those children. I think they're about 8, 9, and 14 or somewhere along there. And I said, well, that's your business. I think you're right about it. He said he's not going to let me have them. But said, I read him a letter, and I told him I'm coming, and if he don't let me have those children, I'm going to blow his daylights out. Well, I said, well, of course, it's his daylight. She said, you think I'm joking? And she opened a purse, books about that long, and had looked like a 38 or more, said, I'm going to take this out with me. And I said, you reckon you're coming? Yes. Well, I said to myself, he won't be there when you get there. He's got in the sense he won't stop this side of the Rio Grande. He'll take those children in some hotel and leave a note, so there they are. A woman would have done coming after a man who's hoping to see the husband anyhow. You know, and every week you see where some woman go to the like or something. So you young fellow better look out how you get married. Now, so she asked me, she said, what do you think about it? I said, go on and do it. She said, you would? Yes. Somebody said, well, you'd be jealous. No, I wouldn't. If she mentioned it, I couldn't change it. If she didn't mean to do it, let her pull it off and bluff him. Maybe she'd bluff him. I don't know. I wouldn't take any chance if I did. I wouldn't get this picture. Fellow came the other day and told me, he said, I'm married to 2 women. One of them's in Nova, Georgia, and I married one here. And I said, brother, one's enough. You're in 2 fixes. He said, what would you do if he's in my place? I said, I'm not in your place, and I never have been, and I never expect to be there. Ask me, what did I do to be in his place? I said, do they know it yet? He said, no. I said, they'll find it out. Oh, when they come to that separation, how wonderful it is that as we pass on, one by one, one by one, one by one. And I believe we ought to call the family around and talk about it and say, no fear. And when they come to cross over, I say, good night. I'll meet you in the morning. Now, when that separation takes place, where are you going to spend eternity? For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ. That's the most solemn word that I read to you a while ago, and shall separate them. And shall separate them. And shall separate them as a shepherd divided the sheep from the goats. My wife sitting over there remembers one time up in northern Palestine where there was a great herd of sheep and goats, those black, long-haired Syrian goats and sheep. And first thing you know, the old shepherd, or the fellow had charge of them, he began to say something that I didn't understand in Syrian, goat or sheep language, and first thing you know, you see how the sheep all gathered together in one place. And then the goats separated unto themselves. That's what Jesus saw when he grew up. Therefore he uses that simple illustration from the shepherd life as a shepherd divided his sheep from the goats. One on the left, the other on the right. And the saddest word that can be heard in time and eternity, depart from me, ye workers of iniquity, into the place of everlasting torment. And the most blessed word that can be heard in time and eternity, those words, come, ye blessed are my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you. L.W. Munhall, one of the great preachers of the last generation, how he described the soul when he comes to stand before God. The world has been finished. He's no longer interested in the price of stocks or oils or lands or houses or banks or bonds. He's now standing before God. And if that soul stand before God, come and ask that soul, what shall I do with your bank? I'm not interested in banks now. What shall I do with your oil? I met a man the other day, I've known him for years. Somebody said, you know, he's worth over $100 million in oil wells. He's way up in years. He's very nervous. He won't be here long. And as I walked away from him, we've been friends for years, I thought, it won't be long that when you come to stand before God and somebody asks you, what shall you do? What will you do with your oil wells? He said, I'm not interested in oil wells now. I'm standing before God. And when that soul stands before God, out of this body, to be judged, you hear that word depart. And the way he goes from God, cast from him, how long? Forever. How long is that? I don't know. And thus is he driven from God, going to bottomless abyss, with nothing to stand on, nothing to hold him. No light to cheer him. Not one drop of water to cool his parched tongue. No loved one to cheer him. All in distress. How long? How long? Way long. Way long. How long? 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 Until the ghosts of eternity meet thee over the grave of God. Turn tonight in the face and say, when he calls, I shall be ready. How wonderful then when I come to meet him, and I have no fear, for I have trusted in Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. Will you trust him tonight? Many have. Many are them, and you can too, for his grace is sufficient for everyone. Now don't say I'll wait, don't say I'll think, don't say I'll consider it, but now I will is the greatest statement in the Bible. When that prodigal son away from home, in rags, penniless, friendless, homeless, helpless, godless, he said, I will arise. This morning, a young man that I've known ever since he was a child, he's gone down in wreck and ruin, came the other day to my office, got down on his knees and prayed that God would save him, and he did. Made him a happy soul. He can save you. Will you do it tonight? Will you? God help you. Let us stand. Every head to bow.